Stan Gibilisco here, from the black holes of Dakota Territory, United States of apocalyptic nature. It seems like this is a bad year for that sort of thing, but of course we have news media now that reports just about every bad incident in the entire world and can bring it right to your iPad, which is what I'm using to make this video. Down in Spearfish, which is where I plan to swim tomorrow, there are just west and basically just west of town, there are two landmark peaks. One of them is called Crow Peak. You can't miss them. It's a characteristic of the town. Crow Peak is on fire, and it's rapidly growing. The fire is west, mainly west and south of Spearfish. The prevailing winds right now are out of the northwest after a cold front came through, so Spearfish itself may be spared the fury of the fire and the smoke from that fire, but down here in Lead, we're right in the path of that smoke. You can actually see it right now on a visible satellite image. You can see the smoke from the Crow Peak fire. This morning it was 64 acres, now it's 250, and I'm sure it's going to grow as time goes by. Last night a cold front came through here with very little thunderstorm activity, and what little there was brought no precipitation. But it did bring lightning, and lightning sparked one of these fires, the Crow Peak fire. There's also a reservoir out in Wyoming. Just nearby there is a even larger wildfire out there. This cold front last night that came through here was characterized by wind gusts, in some cases up to 70 miles an hour. And there were no thunderstorms associated with those wind gusts, at least no precipitation producing thunderstorms. But evidently there was enough lightning, and it only takes one match under conditions like this to spark a wildfire that can burn thousands upon thousands of acres. Back in the 1800s, when Wasichu first came through here, the period of time that you may remember from the movie Dances with Wolves, they used to say that sometimes at night the whole sky would glow with fires from the hills. So this is no new phenomenon. This is not something that is just cropped up recently because of climate change or any other issues. This has been going on for a long time here, and the reason it's now turned into something that can create a disaster for humankind is not because the fires themselves are necessarily any worse, but because humans, the Wasichu, have seen fit to build cities and dwellings right in the way of phenomena like this, just as they've built them right in the way of phenomena such as hurricanes. We've all seen what happens when Mother Nature does what she's always been doing without any regard for the fact that people might be in the way. You hear that noise? That is a helicopter participating in the firefighting effort to contain that Crow Peak fire, which is right now not contained at all. It's in very rugged terrain. And this year, I have a very bad feeling about the fire season here in the Black Holes, shaping up to be one of the worst in many, many years. And I saw a telltale sign that a dry summer is on the way. Now remember, I'm 70% wrong, so you can always say this guy's full of baloney, right? See if you still think I'm full of baloney when the sky is red every night over the black holes of Dakota Territory come, say, August, at the time of the Sturgis motorcycle rally. People may avoid this area because of that, because of the fire risk at that time. It's hard to say, but I did see a telltale sign last night, one that I haven't seen in 2 years. The past 2 summers have been cool and wet, and these big wolf spiders love cool and wet conditions for mating and just hanging out. And when it's a hot, dry summer, these wolf spiders will come in your house and they'll hang around areas where there's water. They can smell water right through the pipes, right through the copper, right through the PVC or whatever they want to call that. These creatures can tell where water is and they go where it is. And lately it's been outside and they haven't had to come in the house. So I haven't seen any wolf spiders in the house for 2 years. But 2 nights ago, in my bathroom, I saw one. And it's only June. They usually don't peak until August and September. And they can get big. They can get about the size of $50. They're not particularly fast, but they're tough. They're hard to kill. Those god-awful chemical sprays are not very effective against these critters. The only thing you can do is smash them or leave them alone. I think I'm increasingly inclined to leave them alone. Because wherever you find one, there's gonna be thousands more. I mean, what's the use? My house is not particularly infested anyway, but the point is I saw one. Animal life has an instinct and a consciousness of its own, just as the earth does, and I do believe the Gaia paradigm of our organism, planet Earth. And creatures such as insects collectively have an intelligence and a perception and an ability to forecast and sense what's coming, unlike anything we humans have possessed for millions upon millions of years. Perhaps the Native Americans had some of it. What little they had, we, the Wasichu, do not. So we build in the way of these fires, and then they occur, and eventually they barbecue us. Just as I hope maybe some of you had a nice barbecue this ham radio field day. It looks like a much bigger barbecue may be on the way. Dare I be so gory as to suggest that it might be barbecued Wasichu? A very bad feeling I have. The wind will be blowing largely away from me tomorrow when I swim down and spearfish, and largely away from the town. But that could easily turn, and the fire is not getting any smaller. Stan Gibilisco signing off. Until next time, so long.